They didn't wear masks. They didn't hide in the shadows. They lived among normal people, and no one suspected a thing. Throughout history, some individuals didn't just kill. They hunted, planned, and repeated their crimes with chilling calm. Tonight, we're diving into the darkest corners of human nature. These are not myths. These are not movies. This is the top 5 most terrifying serial killers in history. Top 5. Andrei Chikatilo, the Butcher of Rostov. Andrei Chikatilo was one of the most horrifying serial killers in Soviet history. For years, he hunted near train stations and forests, targeting children and young people who trusted him. He was patient, methodical, invisible. He murdered dozens of victims, many of them children, leaving their bodies mutilated in remote areas. But what made him truly terrifying wasn't just the brutality, it was how long he was allowed to continue. Police questioned him multiple times. Evidence pointed toward him, and still, he was released. Instead, innocent people were blamed and punished while Chikatilo kept killing. By day, he was a quiet teacher, a husband, a father, a man no one feared. By night, he became a predator, hiding behind a weak, harmless appearance. He wasn't stopped early. He wasn't stopped in time. And that is the most terrifying part of his story. Top 4. Aileen Wuornos, America's most notorious female serial killer. Aileen Wuornos didn't fit the image people expected of a serial killer. She drifted along Florida's highways, living on the margins of society, angry, unstable, and deeply damaged by years of abuse and neglect. She murdered multiple men after picking them up on the road. At first, she claimed self-defense. But as the bodies accumulated, a far darker pattern emerged. This wasn't a carefully planned predator. This was something more chaotic and more frightening. Wuornos acted out of rage, paranoia, and desperation. Her violence was explosive, impulsive, and fueled by a complete emotional collapse. There was no mask, no double life. Her instability made her unpredictable, and unpredictability made her lethal. What makes her story truly terrifying is that her killings felt less like strategy and more like a breaking point that never stopped breaking. And once she crossed that line, there was no control left. Only destruction. Top 3. John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. John Wayne Gacy was the man everyone trusted. A successful businessman, a respected community volunteer, a friendly neighbor who entertained children as a clown. Parents welcomed him. Neighbors spoke highly of him. No one suspected what waited behind his front door. Over several years, Gacy lured young men into his home with promises of work, money, or a place to stay. And most of them never left. He murdered at least 33 victims, hiding their bodies in the most unthinkable place, beneath his own house. While he attended parades, charity events, and family gatherings, a hidden graveyard slowly formed under his feet. A foul smell drifted through the house and was explained away as sewage problems. Missing boys were dismissed as runaways. Warning signs were ignored. Gacy continued living his normal life, smiling in public, shaking hands, while the floor beneath him held the truth. What makes his crimes so terrifying isn't just the number of victims. It's the horrifying contrast. The man who made people laugh during the day was bearing the truth in darkness at night. And for years, no one noticed. Top 2. Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee cannibal. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't kill out of rage. He killed out of obsession. He wanted control, silence, a body that would never leave him. His crimes were methodical, repetitive, and deeply disturbing. He drugged his victims, isolated them, and subjected them to acts meant not just to end life, but to erase identity. Dahmer didn't want victims. He wanted companions who couldn't escape. He kept remains. He photographed bodies. He preserved parts of them like objects, trophies of ownership, not violence. What makes Dahmer truly terrifying is how many times he should have been stopped. Neighbors reported screams. A victim escaped, injured, disoriented, barely alive. Police arrived and returned him directly to Dahmer's apartment. They accepted his explanation. They laughed it off. They left. Inside that apartment, the nightmare continued. The murders didn't stop because Dahmer was careful. They stopped because the evidence became impossible to ignore. And that is what makes his story unbearable to confront. Not just what he did, but how easily he was allowed to keep doing it. Top 1. Ted Bundy, the perfect predator. Ted Bundy didn't look like a killer, and that was the problem. He was intelligent, well-spoken, calm, polite, and disarmingly normal. Bundy didn't hunt by force, he hunted through trust. He pretended to be injured, asked for help, smiled, and people believed him. He abducted and murdered dozens of young women, often returning to the same crime scenes, revisiting bodies, reliving what he had done. When he was finally arrested, it should have ended there. It didn't. Bundy escaped prison twice. The second time, he crossed state lines and killed again, proving that captivity had changed nothing. In court, he defended himself, spoke confidently, looked people in the eye. Many still didn't see the monster. What makes Ted Bundy the most terrifying serial killer in history isn't just how many he killed. It's that he showed the world something far worse. That evil doesn't always hide in darkness. Sometimes it looks educated. Sometimes it sounds reasonable. Sometimes it asks you for help, and you open the door. These are real stories, and there are many more. Subscribe and keep watching.